You've dropped in on us here at the Nottingham Playhouse, where we are seeing the musical Sweet Charity.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs,
Whether it's break a leg
or leg it. It's nice for you to join us.
Yeah, if you're new around here then, thanks for clicking.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, if you're one of our regular leggers and you're back
Hello.
again then, hello, nice to see you. Leave us a comment, say hi, we love to hear from you.
So we're seeing Sweet Charity here at the Nottingham Playhouse, which is actually quite exciting because this is under the new artistic director, Adam Penford.
Yes.
Previously, the previous artistic director wasn't a big fan of musicals.
No, there wasn't a lot of musical staged here.
So this is quite
certainly
new and exciting, plus new and big things happening at the Nottingham Playhouse with the televisation,
NT Live broadcast
That's it.
of The Madness of King George in November, which is really blooming exciting.
So big stuff happening here, which is
Yeah.
why we're excited to see this.
Well, this musical, Sweet Charity, has music by Cy Coleman, who also
Yeah.
did Barnum. I know you know Barnum. I've
Yeah.
no idea. Haven't even seen The Greatest Showman. I'm sure I'll get abuse for that. Lyrics by Dorothy Fields and book by the American playwright extraordinaire Neil Simon. Now, the musical is based on the Italian film Night of Cabiria, which was written and directed by the legendary Italian filmmaker Federico Fellini, who also did something else which had a stage adaptation.
Yes, which we also did La Strada.
Yes,
you
we
can catch
saw
our review
that.
of that just
That
up
was
there.
great. The original production premiered on Broadway in 1966 and was staged, directed and choreographed by the one and only
Bob Fosse.
Bob Fosse. That's my short, sharp, angular movements.
And it
Fosse
was
movements.
nominated for a whole load of Tony
Yeah,
Awards.
9 Tony Awards, and it won Best Choreography.
Okay.
The show went on to have successful transfer productions all across the globe, subsequent revivals, and even a film version in
Big
1969, which I'm sure many of you have seen. I've never seen it.
Did it have Sammy Davis Jr. doing Rhythm of Life?
Sure.
One of the songs.
Why not?
I'm sure Cheetah Rivera was in there.
Maybe, she usually is.
Doing a
around that
rooftop
time.
number, and
Yeah.
the lead. Do you know who the lead was? I want to say it's something like Shirley MacLaine.
Shirley MacLaine, yeah.
MacLaine?
Do you know what? Why not? I know it was.
I've
Gwen-
never seen it.
It was. Well, we
I've
would
never seen
never
it.
guess. But you mentioned Rhythm of Life. That's one of the big numbers which
Yeah.
has entered the general catalogue of musical theatre. Others include Big Spender. That's in this
Yes.
musical, and If They Could See Me Now,
Yes.
which I'm sure you'll know. Production is directed by Bill Buckhurst and stars Marc Elliott, who we saw in another Cy Coleman musical some years ago at the Donmar Warehouse. City of Angels.
Okay.
But he's probably best known for his role in the UK soap EastEnders.
Okay.
Playing Charity of Sweet Charity is Rebecca Trehearn. Now, Rebecca Trehearn is known for being Molly in the UK tour of Ghost in 2013, Marcy in the Southwark Playhouse Dogfight, but she won the 2017 Olivier Award for Best Supporting Actress in a Musical for her performance as Julia in Showboat, which was
Ooh.
Dan directed that, didn't
Oh,
he?
did he? Which we
Yeah,
caught at
Daniel
the
Evans.
New Theatre, New London Theatre.
Yeah, it was okay. A story is of a down and out stripper looking to turn her life around in an ever increasing cynical world.
Okay.
2 acts. With a 20-minute interval, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh my goodness! Do you
It's
know
a
Sweet Charity?
long
Have you
one.
seen it?
No.
No, I don't either. I know some of the songs, some
Never
of the big
seen it.
numbers, but I've never seen it. So we shall stick around, find out our 30-second interval breakdown
Yeah.
and how many legs at the end.
Catch you in a bit. It's the interval.
It's the interval.
Which means it's time for the break-a-leggers.
30-second interval breakdown.
Go! What do you think so far?
I love the music. I think the music is great. Is the lovely brass section, which is really hammering home the music. Lovely singing, lovely acting. However, the piece itself, it just seems to be a collection of scenes I don't care too much. How about you?
Well, it's lovely. It's nice.
Lovely.
It's inoffensive. I can see it has appeal to a certain sort of audience. Whether I'm that sort of audience, though, I'm still on the fence about. Interested to see what happens next and where it goes, to see if it can pick up a bit of pace.
Was it sweet for you?
I thought it was an enjoyable evening out. It's light-hearted by and large. It plods along. I mean, it is long. it's got to be said, it
It's
is
a bit
long.
of one of those legacy epic pieces.
Yeah, it's period, and you've got to accept that this sort of theatre had a place in the 1960s. You know, this was what musical theatre was, and it is like looking through time in that respect. We've come a long way since then, and I would argue things have moved on. But by and large, you know, it wasn't a bad evening out. What do you say?
Okay, talking about the piece first, Sweet Charity, before I get on to this production. I don't think I'm a big fan of Sweet Charity as a piece. It's just a collection of scenes, ultimately. However,
Isn't that description of anything?
No,
A collection
because
of
there's no
scenes?
direct narrative or drama that affects each scene. It's just a selection of scenes, one character loosely threaded together. There's no real driving drama, I think was what really lacked. I did like the ending. I thought the ending was
Don't give
good,
anything
kind
away.
of reminiscent of
No spoilers, please.
Pippin in a way. I like that kind of pulling away from expectation ending. I love the music. I love the brass section, but we're getting away from... Well, no, this is still Sweet Charity, what Sweet Charity is about. So with Sweet Charity, I like the music. There's really nice music in there, some really nice arrangements. Like I say, really nice brass. Played extremely well. They've got a great trumpeter in this.
A trumpet.
Yeah, whoever the trumpeter is, and kind of the brass section.
Matt Yardley on trumpet 1 and Robert Greenwood on trumpet 2.
Kind of some...
And on the flugelhorn.
Some real like big stuff and some lovely notes going on there. Production wise, I thought the production was okay. I thought it had moments that were good. I liked some of the performances were good, vocally very impressive, nice acting as well. But ultimately, I almost think it was just a bit quite safe at times and just quite nice, just okay, and lacked some real drive.
I think it's been a while since the Nottingham Playhouse did a musical, and maybe they're just sort of testing the waters with this one. Maybe it is a safe bet and a safe sort of option, just to see how it all goes and how it gets on, because Nottingham audiences and the region audiences haven't been treated to a musical here in perhaps decades, I don't know, but a long time.
I applaud them, and I
Yeah.
want to see them do more stuff, because the Nottingham Playhouse do some fantastic things and have real potential. I just think Sweet Charity for me is just one of those.
But
Okay,
looking around
musicals.
the audience, we were possibly the youngest people there by 30 years.
Yes.
Possibly, and I think. But
yeah.
you were saying you put on a piece from the '60s, you attract a 1960s audience. You know, maybe that's true. Performance-wise, I think we should pull out a couple of names, particularly Marc Elliott as Oscar Lindquist. He's just really good.
He's a really good
solid.
character.
Yeah.
He owned his character, real characterful actor.
Yeah.
With real confidence.
Nice voice.
Nice inhabiting of his body, a really nice singing voice. So he was a real breath of fresh air. That came quite late, really.
He's barely in the first act.
Yeah, end of the first act and then second act. But he played it really well. I felt in really safe hands with him.
Great. How about Jerry Seacombe as Vittorio Vidal, the sort of aged film star?
Loved him.
Role romantic.
And it again, really nice voice as well. Really nice male singing parts in this.
Yeah, there are some nice singing parts.
The guy who sang Rhythm of Life as well.
That's Daddy Brubeck is that character, played by Shaq Taylor.
Really lovely tone to
Great,
his voice,
lovely
great
baritone
physicality. There's the owner of the club who suddenly gets this lovely tenor,
Herman,
strong voice.
Played by Carl Sanderson.
What a
Surprise
voice.
there, isn't there? There's a bit of
Yeah.
you don't expect it. There's no build-up to what he has vocally, and it's a lovely surprise.
Real power and yet falsetto power as well.
And then
Beautiful.
we've got to mention in the role of Sweet Charity herself, Rebecca
I
Trehearn.
liked her a lot. I thought she was a great actress. Not the best dancer. I think dance-wise, it's always been a real feisty dancing lead role.
I
but
mean,
she
it
could
was
move.
Gwen Verdon, it was Bob Fosse's muse, it was his wife, and who played it as a dance part. It is a dance part, and unless you're going to really danced this. I mean, they've steered away from that large choreography, I would say, by and large, because they've acknowledged the limitations that she has. But I mean, she's a perfectly serviceable actress.
But I thought she was great. Singing-wise, she's got a lovely tone to her voice and a lovely control. I really enjoyed her singing the songs of Sweet Charity of her character.
Interesting. Any other production you'd like to pull out with any strong production aspects that you particularly
musically,
liked?
the band, I thought the band was great. The band was very sharp.
How about choreography?
Choreography was okay. Some lovely moments. The is it Rich Man's Fugue? That stylized dance number I thought was really nice. Slightly under itself. I would liked it to move a bit more, but the style was there. Technically, the ensemble cast were great dancers and great singers and great supporting, so it's lovely to see them flex their dancing legs with that one. Some real sharp moments.
Also give a shout out to the voice coach, Kay Welsh, because all of the accents were consistent, they were really well placed. I've seen actors and actresses, and this is a shout out to the whole company, with a lot more experience than some of these people who may be fresh out of, recently graduated from drama schools, who aren't able to do accents as well as that. So well done, all involved there. Let's move on. How many legs are we going to give Sweet Charity?
So for Sweet Charity, currently playing at the Nottingham Playhouse, we
and
are
only
going
as
to
far
give,
as we know.
only as far as we know, so far watch this space, we are going to give three legs for this piece.
It's an okay evening out. If you're in the area, pop along and see it. And if you do, let us know what you think, because maybe you loved it. Maybe, again, it's just our opinion.
I think if you know the piece and you like the piece, then you will enjoy this. I think if you're coming to it fresh, maybe you'd be a bit shortchanged. You'd be like, oh, okay, is this what all the fuss is about? Initially it won, best choreography, and I think when the choreography is right, this is an electric show. This is more movement in some places when I wanted dance, attack dance, and I did it.
But who asked you anyway?
Who asked me anyway? Who cares what I think? What do you think?
We're the Breaker Leggers, and we'll catch you again soon.
Bye!